Hi my friends! In my last episode I built some new furniture for my cockpit, but this week I decided to switch things up a little bit and to dive in my anchor locker. Since I really want to launch my boat this summer, I think that I will definitely need my anchor and my chain and all this kind of stuff. So let's give some love and care to my future home for an anchor. Let me quickly remind you what my anchor locker looked like a year ago when I first opened it after finding this boat. Honestly, I don't know who was more scared, me or all those tiny little ants living in there when the once upon a time the doors opened and they saw a huge human face looking at them from the sky. So I began by just simply pulling out the old anchor chain, and then I tried to remove this giant timber. Of course, nothing would unscrew. Yeah, I realized I first had to cut away all the shelves, or what was left from the shelves, because there were basically no wood left inside anymore. It was eaten, so I cut everything out. Eventually I managed to pull out that whole timber together with the windlass. I cleaned up the anchor locker, built a new bulkhead, made the fillets, fiberglassed everything, and then I just left it like that for an entire year. To tell you the truth, I feel a little bit ashamed about it because since I cleaned it, I didn't actually come inside there. These are birch seeds. Nothing really scary. Okay, it's time to finish this project. The project with the name My Anchor Locker. I started by enlarging the drain. In the previous episode, I was struggling with that cheap circular hole saw attachment. Honestly, that experience was suffering. I hated it. This time I bought a proper expensive hole saw in the exact size I needed. And from now on, I'll probably just buy individual sizes whenever I need them, because those big sets are pretty expensive. I climbed into the anchor locker and started thinking. I'm sitting here for almost 20 minutes and I just wonder if I really need this shelf. I was thinking maybe I should just bolt the timber directly to the deck. That way the load would spread across the deck itself. But then I'd have to drill straight through the deck and the bolt ends would stick out on the top. And the whole thing would end up looking very homemade. I mean, honestly, it already looks pretty homemade with this giant timber inside. But at least this way it's all hidden behind little doors. This boat was built back in the 80s and it was never designed to even have an anchor windlass in the first place. So this whole setup was something the previous owners came up with themselves. Anyway, I spent a lot of time sitting inside the anchor locker those days thinking about all of this and eventually decided, alright, I'll bring the shelves back. I'll rebuild it almost exactly the way it used to be, following the same outlines. So I made a template using my favorite method, and even at the template stage I realized the shelf would not actually fit inside the anchor locker in one piece. The thing is that I cannot place the whole shelf in one piece like this because there is no enough space to place it. I didn't like that at all, of course, but I cut the shelves anyway and thought, alright, I'll see once they're in place. Maybe it will actually turn out fine in the end. Good morning, guys. Today I came on the boat and I discovered that my epoxy resin with fiberglass, everything is cured, and I had, this mixed feeling when you see that, yay, it's cured, but it means that now it's time to sand everything. This is not my favorite thing to do. Let's get shit done. Hello, my beautiful humans. I waited for 2 days and it looks like now everything is cured. You see this flat surface? I really like it. I'm going to sand a little bit these corners. What I love the most about this day is that I do not have to sand the fiberglass today. I already did it. So all I have to do is just to sand a little bit this blue epoxy filler, which is really nice to sand. Let's go and do it. I've got a little problem here. I feel myself so stupid right now. The thing is, right now this wood, it doesn't fit because of sides. I cannot, I cannot turn it the way I need. It just doesn't fit. Guys, I was thinking those days, why is this not working? Why is this not going smoothly? This anchor locker has been challenging for me from the very beginning, and it still is. No, it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. It often feels like you're reinventing the wheel, creating something that probably should not be there in the first place, and ending up in a bit of a mess. The whole construction feels solid, and I'm pretty happy about it. So let's paint finally. Ideally, you would take everything apart and redo it properly from scratch. You know, sometimes you want to spend the time perfecting an ideal solution, and sometimes you don't. Sometimes you just want to do it the way it was before because it worked, and you know, just move on to other tasks. And this was exactly one of those cases. You know, I don't want to be that cheesy person who always find positive words whatever happens. Sometimes in this life shit happens and all you want to say is like, oh my god, what is she? I already told you that I cannot drive a car this month due to bureaucratic reasons, but this is really a blessing because to see all this beauty every day, it's a gift. Even though it takes time to get my boat these days, it is such a gift to drive a bike every day. I've been waiting for the rain to stop because this morning it was a heavy rain and wind from the north, and I'm on my bicycle. How I deal with garbage these days. Oh guys, this is such a beautiful day. Today I came on a boat and I started putting first coat on my anchor locker, and then Victor texted me. Maybe, probably you remember Victor from one of my previous episodes. He helped me to fix my anchor winch. Now he texted me and he said that he can come over and help me with my steering system, which is amazing. And now I'm so happy to say that everything is almost great with my steering system. He took it apart, he removed the rudder blade, and now I have to clean this whole area up.
Почистить нужно будет, несомненно.
О, смотри тут как снимается. О! Видал?
Оригинальный гель-коут.
Then buy a few supplies in our local store. Yeah, and then he will come back and we will install my rudder blade and put everything back together again. And I'll finally have a properly working steering system. And you know, it makes me so happy because my anchor locker is almost ready. My steering system is also, you know, in progress. Then I will have to treat my underwater hull and to install new seacocks on which I already have savings. And yeah, this is not all, of course, but at least you can, you know, push my boat into the water and it is not going to drown. So yeah, I'm not trying to say that this will be enough for launching, but at least I will have two crucial systems ready to for launching. And yeah, I just feel progress here under my boat today, and I feel myself so relaxed and so happy these days. I don't know, no, maybe it's because summer is coming, and where am I going right now while I'm waiting for... Well, my best friend is exhausted, but I want to share with you guys what am I going to do now. This is my anchor winch. It was so bad, but I cleaned everything with plenty of brushes, and I removed the rust from this section, and now I'm going to wipe it all with a sealant and then to cover it with this paint. This is not sponsored, of course, but I believe in this paint because everybody loves it. Oh, yeah. Woohoo! I finished painting. Oh, this is almost 9 p.m. I did everything. Oh, it already looks so good. I love it. This is a new home for my anchor and for the chain. Time to go home. Welcome to my anchor locker. I am sitting here because I got a new friend. My very first friend here on my boat. She's a snake and she's not my pet. She's wild and she got teeth and she's venomous actually. But if you ever visit me on my boat, you do not need to be afraid of her because she is a very unusual snake. She is afraid of nothing in this world. Nothing scares her. So she won't hurt you. She won't hurt anybody. She's safe. Well, the day has finally come to install the windlass. The specialist said that it's properly fixed now, but I still really wanted to test it one more time before installing it. And please, never do what I'm about to do right there. Seriously. Good thing I have friends who are always there to explain when I'm doing something wrong. The thing is that you're not supposed to connect the wires to the battery first and then poke them against the motor terminals. You're supposed to do it the other way around. Oh, God. Just so you know, you guys, I always feel shaky when I deal with electric systems. Yay, it works, it works. So let's charge my battery and install my windlass. Let me show you. Okay, you guys, there's so many things to complete before I will be able to say, yeah, I did it, it's done. But even now, I want to show you that, yeah, this is going to look like this. This is my anchor winch. I'm going to use it like this. And this wooden rig, it will be fixed with this metal plates like it was, and I still need to plate my engine. I think it is going to be challenging, but I can already say that I am able to use my anchor winch even without an engine. You know, I can pull up my anchor, not with my hands, but with my anchor winch manually. At this stage, I will figure out how to connect my anchor winch to the battery, but you know, I don't have yet the battery that will be strong enough to be connected. But yeah, even now, if I will have to, you know, launch my boat like immediate, I will be able to use my anchor and my anchor locker. And I even have a new roommate here. So just cannot wait to edit this video and to show you this result, to share this moment with you. So, anchor winch is a crucial thing for launching, and it is almost finished. It makes me so happy. Thank you so much for supporting me on PayPal and Patreon. Right now, Patreon is a huge support for me. It's the main financial backbone of my entire project. And without you, I honestly don't know what I would do. I'm deeply grateful for everything you contribute. You are part of this project, and everything here exists because of you. I've started sharing daily logs like Captain's log style updates with photos, along with raw and edited check-ins videos during the week. So if you feel like supporting my work, you're very welcome to join me on Patreon. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for watching this episode and for spending your time with me. It means the world to me. See you next week. Bye, my loves.